Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel and welcome to episode 3 of this 3-game week in the Championship, which effectively is now game week 18, so not far away from being halfway through the season, incredibly, which we will end up being that before the Christmas break or around about that time. Goodness me. Right, what have we got on this weekend? Oh, first of all, just a quick review of the midweek games. Coventry now, are they sailing into the distance not to be caught? 10 points clear after just 17 games, so plenty of time to go, of course. Goal difference of 30. They scored another 4 this week, midweek, away at their closest rivals, Middlesbrough. What a performance that was. And they weren't put off by Middlesbrough coming back from being 2-0 down. That didn't knock Coventry out their stride at all, and they went on to win the game handsomely by 4 goals to 2. So they're way ahead at the top, looking into the distance for the rest of them at the moment. And then, of course, because there's one team almost running away with it at the moment, everything else is clustered up. We've got Stoke on 30. And right down to 15th place, which surprisingly is Leicester, there's only 6 points between all of those 13, 14 sides. So that's the sort of recipe for the weekend then. Everybody will want to be picking up points, especially if we've had a bit of a dodgy week so far. Sheffield Wednesday, of course, still propping up the bottom, but they're going to be that for a while. Their target is just not to finish bottom, I guess. They've got to have something to go for. Norwich dropped points again, so late on. They were so close to their first home win, but Oxford pinged them back, slightly undeservedly, I think, from what I read. I didn't see the game. But a point for Oxford keeps them 5 points clear of Norwich. And Sheffield United got out of the bottom 3 with a handsome 3-0 win over Portsmouth. A very poor Portsmouth performance, I understand. Even though they went down to 10 men in the first half for the deliberate handball, they were poor on the night, and it could have been a worse scoreline. So there are a few of the pickups from the midweek. Excuse me. So what have we got this weekend then? A full programme, of course. It starts on Friday night, and we've got a game on Monday, and nothing on Sunday. So we've got Friday night, Saturday, most of the games, and then a game on Monday. So we start off Friday night with Oxford at home to Ipswich. Ipswich just starting to find their feet. But we said that a few times, and then they go and sort of throw that back at us a little bit. But they've got into the top 6. They're 5th place. And they had a very good 2-0 win. Hull had been in form up until the last couple of games. But they slipped up again against Ipswich. And Oxford, as we know, had that last gasp equaliser against Norwich. I think Ipswich will continue this good run or good trot, or decent results anyway, and they'll go down to Oxford on Friday night and take the points. Oxford United 1, Ipswich 2. Then we've got 3, 12, 30 games on Saturday, as always. And it starts with an interesting one, really, because we've got Leicester City, who are, as I say, languishing, is that too strong a word? Languishing in 15th place. As I say, it's just tight, but nevertheless, that's where they are at the moment. And Sheffield United will be buoyed by the fact they're above the line, and they've had a good 3-0 win, over Portsmouth, as I say. So I think they might snatch a point here and continue their recent uptick. So I'm going to take Leicester City, who were undone at Southampton, by the way. We'll talk more about Southampton in a sec, or a little bit later. 3-0. So Leicester were more. Their fans are not getting a bit restless down Leicester way at the moment. So I'm going to take a draw here. Leicester City 1, Sheffield United 1. Then we have Fratton Park at lunchtime, on a Saturday lunchtime. A sort of a localish game against Bristol City. 50 miles between them. It's a very easy trip for the fans. Direct train service, all of that sort of stuff. So there'll be a good atmosphere down at Fratton Park at 12:30. But there is a bit of unrest in the ranks. And when there's usually unrest in the ranks, Portsmouth usually respond. They have done that since they've got back to the Championship. They've had a really poor away result, and they come back and their home form has bailed them out. Will it bail them out tomorrow? Bristol City away form is dipped. They started off the season, I think, probably the last team, or almost the second last team to lose away from home in the league in this division. but they've only picked up 1 point out of 9. That was a point against Watford, where Watford, did boss the game as well. So their away form is a bit flaky, to say the least. So I think I'm going to take Portsmouth to nick this one by 2-1. I just think they'll be smarting with all the criticism that they've had this week, both from the local media and the fans. So it's not a happy camp at the moment on the outside. I'm sure it's fine inside. But John Mazzini's got to come up with the right equation, the right formation on Saturday lunchtime. I will be watching avidly. I only live up the road, but I'm not going to brave the winter weather. I'm going to stay behind the sofa, I think, is the best place for that one, for me. Portsmouth to nick it. That's sort of head over heart, I think. Obviously, I want the Bristol City to come up with the points if they can. But I'm going to predict Portsmouth 2, Bristol City 1. Then the final 12:30 of Saturday is Stoke City, who are back winning again. They had a really good 3-0 win over Charlton. We're having a tough run against Charlton at the moment. And Hull City, who perhaps are a little bit fragile at the moment after a couple of losses. So I think Stoke will continue their good form. They're the second place at the moment, just heading up this chasing bunch. I'm going to go Stoke City 3, Hull City 0 in that one. Now we go to Coventry. The goal machine, that is. Goodness me, as I say, a goal difference of 30. That's an extra point on the board, really, because if you're level with anybody, I don't think anybody's going to catch them on goal difference unless there's an absolute feast of strange results. So we've got Coventry against Charlton. As I say, Charlton have had the fixture list hasn't been kind to them lately. They went down 3-0 to Stoke, 5-1 at home to Southampton, and now they're couldn't face in for a more difficult task away at the runaway league leaders at the moment. So I think Coventry will perhaps make hay again. I'm not sure the sun's going to shine, but they'll make hay without the sun. And Coventry, I think, will take this match quite comfortably. Charlton are just a bit fragile, and their confidence will be low, having been picked off by the other two sides who have hit form. So I'm going to go Coventry 4, Charlton 1. Sorry, Nathan. What have we got next? 3 o'clock on Saturday up next, and it's Middlesbrough against Derby. Now, Middlesbrough have got their new head coach after he sort of snubbed Swansea, the Swedish guy, whose name escapes me, which is rather bad, but he's the Swedish guy that I hadn't heard of before. I don't think many have. We shall see how he goes. Home game to kick him off then against Derby County, who recovered their little blip recently because they had all those wins and they had a loss, didn't they, from 2-0 up, as I recall. And it's so they had a good win at Swansea. Middlesbrough, I think, will just edge this one, but it'll be I don't think it'll be a bit of a dow on this, I think. Middlesbrough 1, Derby 0. Middlesbrough, of course, going down 4-2 at home to Coventry, having come back from 2-0 down to 2 each. So they'll want to put right that wrong as well. Then we go on to Millwall against Southampton. Southampton's starting to tick now under their under-21 coach, who's been promoted and is putting a very good job application in to get the job first time. So we shall full-time, even. So we shall see if that happens. Let's say Southampton a few bob, and perhaps somebody that the players are responding to. They clearly are at the moment. A great 3-0 win over Leicester. Leicester, I think, had a red card in that match, but nevertheless, Southampton are expecting to win games now, which is what it hasn't been for the last year and a half almost. So they're now going on the pitch with a bit more belief, and I think that belief will come out here at Millwall, although Millwall did squeak a 1-0 home win over Sheffield Wednesday midweek. I'm going to go Millwall 1, Southampton 3. Then we go to Norwich, and poor old Norwich were so close to winning their first home match of the season in any competition. They were 1-0 up. I think it was 90 plus 5, the usual storage of extra time we get these days, and it was right at the back end of it when Oxford got, I think by all accounts, an undeserved equaliser. But sorry, Oxford fans, if that's not accurate, but it's just what I read and what I heard. Norwich should have been, perhaps Oxford came back into it, but Norwich should have been done and dusted well before then. They weren't. Again, fragile, but they were so desperate. You tend to retreat back, don't you, when you haven't won for a long time and all of that. Oxford took advantage, and so Norwich try again at home at Carrow Road against Queen's Park Rangers. What can you say about them? I don't know what they're going to do next. They had some rough results, and then they go up to Blackburn and win 1-0. Blackburn, their home form is a bit on thin ice at the moment, but QPR, you just never know. So I think I'm going to go on as even again, with a caveat. I think Norwich will see this as a real chance to just go out there and perhaps, because I think the Oxford game was tense, wasn't it? Because it's two sides right down in that, in that bottom zone. Whereas QPR, mid-table at the moment, 12th, and I think perhaps Norwich will say, let's just go and do our stuff. But I'm going to take QPR to salvage a point, or take a point. Norwich City 1, QPR 1. 4 games left. The first of those is up at Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday against Preston North End. Preston North End had a decent draw down at Watford midweek, and as I say, Sheffield Wednesday went down to Millwall, struggling to get the ball in the back of the net at all at the moment, unfortunately. But they'll have another big backing. Sheffield Wednesday fans just enjoying the ride now for the rest of the season, which probably makes them quite a dangerous outfit, really, because they've got no pressure as such. They can go and play their football, relax, and just give everything a go. I think Preston will withstand all of that and nick the points, and again a pretty dour one possibly. I'm going to Sheffield Wednesday 0, Preston North End 1. West Bromwich Albion against Swansea is the one of the next Saturday one listed, and Swansea having a rough time. Haven't got a manager at the moment. I say the Swedish guy has gone to Middlesbrough, sort of turned his back on them at the 11th hour. Swansea lost at home to Derby. West Brom came out of the Midlands Derby, 1 each with Birmingham. Disappointed to have dropped home points there. Anyway, I think they'll get back on track here. I think Swansea are at the moment a bit rudderless and a bit in, not free fall, but they're just sort of swimming against the tide a little bit. So I'm going to go West Bromwich Albion 2, Swansea City 0. Good time to play Swansea, I think. 2 to go. We've got Wrexham against Blackburn. Wrexham did beat Bristol City 2-0, as I say, all part of this flaky away form Bristol City have at the moment. Wrexham just starting to find their feet, which their owners, Hollywood owners, will be happy about. Now only 3 points off 4th place because there's that cluster of teams. But nevertheless, it looks a lot brighter for Wrexham than it did at the start of the season when they were finding their feet despite their splashing of the cash. So, Wrexham against Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn's away form has been good. Their home form has been a bit slippery. But I think Wrexham will follow on, and this is what they need to do. This is what the owners will be looking for. Anyone will be looking for in a Wrexham disposition. Will say, come on then, we beat Bristol City in the week. Let's follow this up against another sort of mid-table-ish, or lower mid-table team at the moment, Blackburn. It's their real chance to push into that top 6, I reckon, if they win. So I'm going to take them to do just that. Wrexham 2, Blackburn Rovers 1. And then finally, for the final game of this weekend and of this very busy week, we jump over to Monday night when it's Birmingham City against Watford. And Birmingham City, late on, got a point in that derby I was talking about at West Bromwich. Watford slipped up at home again. 2-1 all draws on the trot for them at home now. So I think Birmingham have just got this renewed, certainly at home, this renewed confidence. 3-4 goal wins, isn't it? 2 4-0s and a 4-1 prior to this fixture on Monday of this weekend. So I'm going to take them to add to that and add to Watford's woes a little bit and take Birmingham to continue their good home form. And it'll be Birmingham 3, Watford 1. So there we have it. Another 12 games to get stuck into. Will Coventry just carry on in the distance and be sort of waving a Premiership flag? Who knows? Long way to go. Not even, as I say, we're close to halfway through the season, but we're not there yet. And the Christmas time, games can really change things around because they come thick and fast. Okay, there we go. Have a lovely weekend. Everybody enjoy all your football, whatever that may be. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you have a spare click in you. That's all we ask of you. Click, half a second, job done, and it does really mean so much to the channel in general. So I will see you again next week. I think we've got a bit of a run, and have a lie down now for a while, and we come back again for another round of matches next weekend. So have a great weekend, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again very soon.